I'm gonna FaceTime my sister. ASMR. Damn, where was I? Oh my god, wait. Yep. We shall start again. Hey guys, welcome to my bathtub. We are reunited here today for another self-care moment with Justine. I thought today we could do something else together, and that would be my favorite self-care moment in the world. A bath alone with wine and candles. So if you can, and if you want to of course, go watch this video in a bathtub, light some candles, pour yourself a nice glass of wine, if you're of age of course, and let's get started. So today I'm going to be revisiting some extremely painful memories just for you guys, and that is going to be making a top 4 of my most embarrassing moments of all time. I wrote them all down, and I wanted to start with the least embarrassing and then go to the most embarrassing, but I realized that all of them are pretty embarrassing. So I'm just gonna start with the one that is the least painful. So let's get started. Number 3. In high school, I used to go to a lot of house parties. I love them. I still prefer them to bars and clubs. Usually there's less creeps just because you know most of the people who are there. There's no bouncers, no coat checks, you know, whatever. So I was at a house party of a friend of mine with 3 or 2 of my best friends. I knew the girl who was hosting the party, but not that well. But most of the guests I did not know. We're at the party, we're having a couple of drinks, whatever. What you need to know is that my friends and I have pretty weird sense of humor. We like to purposely put ourselves in embarrassing situations. So my friend dared me to pretend that I did not know anyone there. And since people didn't really know me there, that actually made a lot of sense. So I sat in a corner and I started drinking my beer, and then my friends started saying like, oh, who is she? Why is she here? And like making this a big thing. So a lot of other people were like, hey, who are you? Like, why are you here? And I was just kind of like, well, the door was open, guys. Like, it's a party. Like, aren't you letting anyone in? And I just like kept drinking, and then I was like, why are you guys like looking at me like that? Like, and I was like giving that like weird attitude, just like drinking alone in a corner. And then this guy comes up, and I did not know him, and he's like, wait, who are you? And then I play along because I still think it's funny, and I'm like, I don't know anyone here, the door was unlocked, I just came in, like, leave me alone. And then he's like, no, like, you gotta leave. So this guy actually tried to kick me out of the party, and then when I started saying like, no, I know these people, my friends were like, no, we don't know her. So he actually tried to kick me out. My friends were not saying that they knew me until it was getting too real, and my friends were like, oh no, we're just playing. But then how do you explain to that guy that we were just joking around? This is our normal everyday humor. I'm just gonna pretend I'm at a party and I don't know anyone. But just imagine being in my position, getting kicked out of a party because I'm pretending I don't know anyone. And then I have to explain to the guy who's kicking me out that I was just playing. No, it's just a joke. Just playing around. Number 2. Alright, so I was in high school. It was after a school day, so I had my little uniform, you know, the schoolgirl skirt, the whole thing. It was like January or like February, so there was snow everywhere. And I was walking with 2 of my really good friends on Sherbrooke Street. So if you're from Montreal, you know what street I'm talking about. It was extremely crowded. It's like 4 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. There's like buses, people walking, traffic on the street, and I really needed to pee. I can't go pee anywhere. So my friend starts making me laugh, and I'm like, stop, like literally stop. I'm about to pee myself, like stop. But she didn't think I was serious, and I'm like, stop. And she's like, she keeps going, she keeps making me laugh, and I'm like, what are you doing? Stop, I'm about to pee myself. And she keeps going, and then just comes out. Could not keep it in. I start peeing. I'm wearing tights. It's going down my tights. I'm wearing Ugg boots, so it goes straight into my Uggs, and it goes straight onto the snow. Snow turns yellow under me. everybody is watching. There's a full ass bus stopped. So the people inside of the bus, the people waiting to get inside of the bus, and the people coming out of the bus, all staring. And I'm just peeing. Like, and it's a long one, because if I had to pee that bad, it wasn't a few drops. It was Niagara Falls down there, just going and going onto the white snow in front of everyone. And then I'm far away from my house. I don't have any change of clothes, and I am walking inside of my boots that are filled with pee. And you know how Uggs are made, you know it. The little fur inside, the water, like stepping inside the pee, like that little mushy sound, all the way back home. I peed my pants in front of probably hundreds of people on Sherbrooke Street, 4 p.m. Friday afternoon. I need another sip. Last story, number 1. This is gonna be painful. I'm not gonna say how old I was, just for image purposes, but I was just a little bit younger than today. I was actually kind of seeing this guy who was a little bit older than me, and you know, I guess he had his life together or whatever. He was living in an apartment. I don't really know how it started or why I was still seeing him, but whatever. I had just gone back from the Bahamas like the same day with my mom, and she had actually dropped her bag in the ocean and my cell phone was in it, so I had no phone. I got home, my friends are like, we're going out. I'm like, alright, let's do it. I don't have a phone, so I'll meet you there at like 9, whatever. And then onto my friend's phone, I log into my Facebook and I'm texting the guy like, oh, like you should come meet up with us, like, but since he was older, like that poor guy, he didn't want to hang out with a bunch of like teenage girls, not teenage, younger girls. So he's like, no, you come over after you're done partying with your friends, whatever. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I don't have a phone. So I call a taxi after we're done, and he gives me his address, and he says, first door to your left or something like that. And I'm like, alright, like whatever that means. I'm kind of tipsy. So I get into the taxi. The taxi driver was insane. Like, that guy, I love him to death. Like, I still think about him. He had like long brown hair. He was like smoking cigars. He was listening to some Eric Lapointe. He's not politically correct anymore, Eric Lapointe, but he was at the time. So he's listening to Eric Lapointe. I'm singing along. I get there. I don't even have a phone to like text the guy like, hey, I'm here. He just told me the door is unlocked. I tell the taxi driver like, can you wait? Just because if this is not the right house, like I don't want to be stuck here. Like, just give me a minute. I'll check if it's the right house, and like if I give you a thumbs up, you can leave. He's like, alright, sure. So I go inside, and like, I don't know, I guessed it was the right house because I told him he could go. And I go downstairs and I open a door. It's pitch black. Like, I cannot see anything. So I'm like trying to touch around. I'm kind of tipsy, keep in mind. So I'm like touching around, like, is this the right place? I don't feel anything, so I close the door. I open another door, like touching around, and I feel a toilet. So I'm like, okay, this is his bathroom. So I open the third door, and then I touch around, I feel a bed. So I'm like, alright, this is it, you know? So I climb into the bed, and okay, so I climb into the bed, and I'm kind of like, hey, and he's like sleeping, like waking up. This is painful. And then he's kind of like confused, and he's like, oh, like, who are you? I'm like, haha, like, it's Justine, like, haha. It's so funny. And I start making out with the guy. He's like, no, for real, who are you? And then I go, who the fuck are you? And then he's like, you're in my bed. And then I'm like, yeah, but who the fuck are you? At this point in time, I'm tipsy. I'm alone. I'm a woman. I don't know whose bed I am in. And then this like goes on in my head. Probably lasted like a few seconds, but it felt like an hour. I'm like freaking out. I'm like ready to find like a fucking knife and start stabbing. Like, I'm like fight or flight mode, and the fight mode is on. So I'm like And then he's like, are you looking for Adrian? Let's call him Adrian. And I'm like, at least he knows who Adrian is. I'm not in the wrong house. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, he's in the next room. I'm literally on top of this guy. I just made out with him. And he is Adrian's roommate. And he goes, I swear to God, but you can stay. This is like so painful. If you're watching this, Adrian, you know who you are. I still think about this day every day. This is my most painful memory. For like 5 minutes, he did not know what was going on because I thought he was Adrian playing with me. I thought he was like playing like, oh, who are you? Like, what are you doing in my bed? Like, I thought this is what was going on. So I was just like playing along like, haha, you're so funny. So yeah, that happened to me. And then I went to Adrian's room and he was like, did that just happen? And I was like, yeah. Because, okay, so what I did not say is I did not know he had a roommate. But when he said, first door to the right, he meant his room, but I thought he meant like the apartment door. I guess it was pretty clear, but I was younger. I was tipsy. I was tipsier. And I did not think this could happen. I thought he lived alone. This night still haunts my deepest memories. Like, you know, when you can't fall asleep at night and you think of all your embarrassing moments. This one pops up like 85% of the time. And the remaining percentages, which would be
13 minus 50, goddamn, 47.
15% of the time is the other thing. So, thank you for joining me in this little self-care moment. I hope that my deepest, darkest memories entertained you a little bit because that was the whole point of this video. Just to give you a little moment to unwind. Light some candles, pour yourself a nice glass of wine, and just relax in your bathtub because this is literally my favorite moment of the day. And if I could inspire you to have a nice moment for yourself today, I really hope I did. I really hope you enjoyed it. So please subscribe, follow my Instagram page. It's @simply__Justine. So it's 2 underscores. Comment if you took a bath, tell me if it worked, and tell me which one of my most embarrassing stories was your favorite. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.